Good morning. Welcome to a fantastic Friday. Let today be a day of new beginnings. It's a new weekend coming up, and let today take us to the next level. So let's start our day, Power of Dreams. Let's go for it. Fabulous. Let's be back. Anita, I loved your morning routine. Amazing. More power to you. All right. Ruchi, I'll need you to lend your voice. So, Ruchi, you can start from how will I ever do the things I want to do? There are too many. So, all of us who really have a lot of stuff to do and we wonder how will we do it, let's understand the science.
Good morning. I can't get moving on anything, and I'm afraid I'll die without ever doing what's inside me. When I think of that, I get the worst feeling you can ever imagine. But I don't see any way to change. I have tried over and over and gotten nowhere. Chances are it will take you a slow reading of this chapter to get your mind to trust what I hope you're starting to realize. But I would like you to read the next words carefully. You have no life or death decisions to make. You don't have to give up anything you don't want to do. When your panic
No,
subsides,
you don't have to give up anything you want to do.
you don't have to give up anything you want to do.
Right.
When your panic subsides, you're going to realize there is plenty of time to do everything you want. You are going to see that you will not be a loser, you won't be left behind. You will use your talents and say your piece while you're on this earth. Your voice will be heard. You might even get rich and famous if that's what you care about. And if people treat you like you're different, it's probably because they can see better than you, that you're exceptional, and they probably wonder. Even if they seem disapproving sometimes, when you're not already rich and famous. Doing everything you love is easier than you ever imagined. It doesn't appear that way because panic has thrown formidable looking obstacles in the way to fulfilling any of your dreams. But a closer look will show you that the most common obstacles don't really exist at all.
So the human beings are very adept at creating something in their mind which is not even existent. So much of thinking, so much of deliberation, so much of thinking, and then we create mountains out of molehills. We create situations which don't even exist. And then we think it's do or die. Oh, if I haven't done this, now what? So we're being told and guided and nudged. That is not a life and death situation. Everything can be done in their own sweet time. It's all right. Just follow, don't panic. Now, what are the top obstacles of panic scanners? Let's read them.
When you hear the clock ticking, but you just can't get into action, what's the reason? Your fear critics. You feel watched, so you are trying to be perfect. Whatever you do never seems good enough. So you drop it and try something else. But you feel like you're wasting precious time. You have created a see, it's impossible list. Your list of what you want to do has everything on it but eat breakfast and scratch my head. It covers many pages and proves that you will never get to do what you really want. You have inadvertently made the project too big. You have assumed you need a business plan and two PhDs to say nothing of a huge loan from the bank and 36 hours a day to do all the marketing, selling, bookkeeping, production, publishing, and wall painting that will be necessary, all of which you will have to do on your own. You don't feel entitled to just to do whatever you want. You think you don't have the right to do what makes you happy. You should be thinking of other people, not just yourself. You think you are the problem. You don't have what it takes, or you are not really trying, or something. You are pulled into too many directions. It's impossible to decide which one to take. You are desperately searching for a sign that will at least tell you which one to start with. If you are nodding your head as you read that list, you have been feeding your sense of panic like dry timber feeds a fire. Let's see if we can get rid of those obstacles one by one and get you into action.
So now what's happening is 6 points have been given to us where we are belittling ourselves or we are thinking of others. What will they say? World kya bolega? And blah, blah, blah. Now we're going to go step by step and we're going to try and work them, rule them out. So let's understand. I think I'm not sure if all of us nodded our heads for 6 points, but at least ek do ke liye शायद nod kiya hoga. So it works for everyone. Let's read it.
Perfectionists need to admit the source of their conflict. Too many scanners say, I am my own worst enemy. Be honest. You're not working for your own high standards. You are working for someone's approval. It could be your parents, your high school English teacher, your boss, even your nosy neighbor. It could very well be a voice from your past. Wherever you find a perfectionist, a critic is not far away. But you can waste a perfectly good life trying to meet the standards of someone who thinks you're not good enough because they can't understand who you are. I have some tips in later chapters that will help you to handle this kind of problem. But for now, just know what's really behind the paralysis caused by perfectionism. You need to cross some things off your see it's impossible list. You might not know it, but you're trying to prove you can't do everything you want. If your list is really long, check to see if you have added on extra things to prove how hopeless it is and justify your despair and continue to stay immobile. One man at a workshop said, I will never be able to do all the things I want to do. I want to swim and run too, and play my guitar. But I also want to learn a language, and I'm fascinated by botany. I have a earn, I have to earn a living too. But many people do all those things and more, and they would never think to put them on a list. Your impossible list is saying something else, something like, I will never get a chance to do what I love. It's hopeless. You can shrink the size of your project to fit reality by keeping only the parts you love the most. When we think about what we want to do, we often make the project so big it really is next to impossible. If you have done that, cut it down until you have only the elements you love best and try to find a way to do this new, smaller version. If it still includes the heart of the dream, you can do it with complete satisfaction. Cindy wants, among many other things.
1 second. So all of us, we have a lot of dreams, right? And we want to ace them. So now that acing in itself is the biggest roadblock. We should learn to do it and keep working on ourselves to getting better. There's no formula of reaching the perfect thing, perfect place. And that's one thing which will deter us from our goals because our standards are too high. So don't make your standards too high for yourself for anything that you start up. You're interested in it, just do it. Just start. Simply start. Number two. Now it's nothing is impossible, right? The very word impossible, I know it sounds cliche, but it says I am possible. So if you have the desire to do something, just do it. What's taking you so long to think about it? What does it think about people? What will people say? Forget people. If you want to do it, just do it. Because if it's fascinating for you, you'll maybe able to work. And nahi bhi hoga, to at least you tried, right? At least you have that feeling in your mind that at least I gave an effort. I made an attempt to do it. Number three. Now, if the size of your project is so huge that it's realistically impossible, then how would you be able to take it forward? Very important to see that we should make it tangible. The larger dream is something huge. That's great. But why don't we break it down? If we break it down into smaller elements and try to give our best to it and keep working towards it, it'll become better. The only thing in this is our heart should really want it. It's not like the public wants it, the societal pressure wants it. You should want it. And when you give it, you feel satisfied. Oh, I did a good job. Let's read an example.
Cindy wants, among many other things, to relearn her rusty biblical Greek so she can translate a book into English. But she doesn't have time, and the project is huge. Some people could spend a decade on such a project. How can she make the dream less of a major production? The heart of her dream was the pleasure of turning out a good piece of work for her church. We found out that she can sit down with one important passage and her dictionary, and in 1 or 2 weeks turn out an inspiring piece for her church newsletter. And she can start right now. Doing what you love isn't a privilege, it's an obligation. Isn't it selfish to do what you love? You might think that it's okay to have a hobby, but if you are a scanner, you want more than that. You want to play an instrument, go to meditation classes, take a holiday in Denmark and another one in Ireland, learn tap dancing and more. Is that allowed? Well, if you do these things in place of having a job, if you have burdened someone else with taking care of you and you don't pull your own weight or fulfill your legitimate obligations, the answer is no, it isn't allowed. But if you were that irresponsible, I doubt you would be looking for permission in the first place. More to the point, by denying yourself the right to do what makes you happy, you may be depriving others of a shot at their happiness, and that's not allowed. If you're pulling your own weight, you're actually being selfish by not doing what makes you happy. The things that fascinate you exist because of some talent you were born with. You have the eyes to see what many people miss. That's how talent affects all of us. And you owe it to all of us to use your talents.
Very important. The book that we're writing in the morning or whenever you're writing, if you're not being selfish enough by giving attention to what you desire, you love, then you're not being faithful for your existence. All of us are born with love and light. All of us are born with some unique talents of ours. If we don't use our talents for the world or for ourselves, then how are we growing in life? It's our responsibility to do what we are best at. Whatever I'm best at. If I'm humorous, I can become a stand-up comedian. If I'm a painter, I can become an artist. If I'm good in cooking, then I can become a chef. I owe it to myself for my fascinations, for my therapies, for my interests. And that is being great. So if we don't do that, then we are robbing ourselves of a privilege. And so we are robbing the world also. Number 5. Yes, please.
You would do everything right if you could. If I could stick with something, all this mess would go away. If I weren't afraid of failing, I would be okay by now. If I would just quit hesitating and spring into action, my problems would be solved. But don't you understand that if you could do those things, you would have? Even if you don't agree, that kind of reasoning goes nowhere and fixes nothing. And it's pointless to think about it. Believing those myths can hurt you. Write these words on a piece of paper and put it up on your bathroom mirror so you see it every time you brush your teeth. Each time you judge yourself, you break your heart. Those are the words of Kirpal Banerjee, a Hindu monk. As you know, he is right. But how can you let go of all the criticism and move on? It's a good question. Here is a trick that will actually work. Go ahead and fail. Yes, that's what I said. I'm not kidding. When I was in high school, someone wrote in chalk on the sidewalk, flunk now, avoid the rush. We tried hard to avoid flunking back then. But flunking might not be a bad idea for now, believe it or not. After all,
You know what happens most of the times? Failure is important to get the idea of success in life. So each time we judge ourselves, we're breaking a part of our heart because judgment is not something that we are born with. Being judgmental is a mental disorder. So when we judge, whether it's ourselves or anybody else, we are not in the right frame of mind. One more thing, whenever we work on something, yes, there will be fears of losing, there'll be fears of failing. And that's okay to have those fears as long as you have the zest to do something for it. It's fine to fail, but it's not okay not to do anything. It's not okay not to take steps into what you really love to do. Try you take a minuscule step, at least take a step forward. Yes, please.
you're stuck in your tracks and you're not moving anyway. What do you have to lose? Don't take big risks or burn any bridges, but do whatever you want. And if it fails, so what? Sometimes the best cure for stress is failure. Write that book or try to create a new pet rock and let it bomb. If you don't get into action, you have failed anyway. And we are all much too afraid of failure. Here is how to fail. Pick any project. You might as well pick the toughest one and leave the easy ones for another time when you're in the mood to succeed. Then all you have to do is simply refuse to give the project your best effort. If you like, you can work hard at first, but when the time comes for a final burst of speed, just don't do it. And when you have failed and your critics are watching, oh, how I wish you would really do this. Flaunt it. March up to the dinner table and say with a face full of joy, I totally fell on my face. What a loser I am. Go into details until you can see they wish you would be quiet, and be sure to look happier than you have ever looked in your life. Your critics will mumble that you're crazy, but you will take all their ammunition away. If they fire a few more rounds of criticism at you, agree enthusiastically and start flaunting your failure all over again. Done right. It's a real eye opener and it's fun. It might even make you unafraid to fail ever again.
One more thing, laughing at your own shortcomings is the best way of making the critics go quiet. Before they can pounce on you, you pounce on yourself and just say, oh, I did this, I did that. And just laugh it out. Then you will not give them an option to talk because you have yourself agreed. And there are people out there in the world who find sadistic pleasures in belittling some others. Not everyone knows them, but some of us know them. It's all right. It's all right to accept in front of them, oh, I did this. Oh, it didn't work out. I thought it will, but it backfired. It's all right. But you should do it. I'm not saying take huge risks and burn yourself. No, don't do that. But pick up whatever works for you. Pick up whatever you want to do. Don't refuse yourself the opportunity of not doing something, and don't refuse the opportunity of not making your best effort. If you pick up something, give it your 200%. Don't just say, oh, I picked up lightly. No, nothing is lightly. जो भी करना है अच्छे मन से करना है, right? Number 6.
It doesn't make the slightest difference where you begin. Once you quit worrying about being judged, you can choose the closest goal or the easiest or the prettiest or any other goal to start with. You can do a few of them at once. If that's your best way of working, it doesn't matter. You are going to do them all anyway. How? By using the panic scanner's best friend. Something so obvious you might blush when I remind you of it. It's called a calendar.
It's very simple, but let's see the power of this. Let's understand what is the wall calendar poster. Very interesting, very simple, no Latin Greek, but we'll get it. So let's go for it.
Nothing drives away the time sickness that causes panic better than a calendar. The best thing is big enough to show everything you hope to do for the next few years all at once. And if it's hung on the wall as a constant reminder, You might find your panic going away. You can make it yourself right now. Just find a large sheet of paper or tape some ordinary size blank sheets together. And with a colored marking pen, divide it into 6 large squares, one for each of the next 6 years. Why 6? Because it's good to know you have 6 whole years to play with. Anything less could worry you by making you feel hurried. Anything greater would be hard to understand. 6 years seems to be just right for scanners. Mark the year over each square, starting with this year. Nearby, keep a cup full of white, brightly colored ink markers. When you get a good idea, you will need to have these markers at hand. Now, stand in front of that calendar and think of every project you really long to do. Not every one you think, not everyone you can think of. Figure out which ones you might be able to do soon and which ones can wait. Assign a different color to each activity and draw a band of that color on the calendar in the time you hope to do it. A bright red line for next fall might represent your trip to Rome. A blue one could represent the art class you want to take. This is a first run only and not written in stone. You are sure to change it frequently, but you have got to start with something real. And a calendar is the simplest and strongest reminder that you will not be cheated out of doing everything you love. Post that calendar on your wall where you will see it many times a day. That's all you have to do. And notice the surprising calm you feel when everything you love is scheduled and will wait for you. Did you suddenly feel as if your surroundings changed? Instead of floating in space, you just planted your feet on a road with a direction, and all because of a hand-drawn calendar. When it comes to demolishing scanner panic, no piece of equipment is more powerful than a calendar on the wall that allows you to see at a glance the next few years. Here is an excerpt from a letter I got recently. I physically feel lighter, unburdened, and clearer in my thinking since I put all my projects on the calendar and decided on the first group of projects to work on. I can now say to that frantic voice in my head, it's okay to wait on that. I'm doing these things right now. To get anything done, you need structure. That means schedules, timetables, and accountability. Without structure, we all become disoriented. We don't know where we are. If you learn to set priorities and line up your projects in some kind of order, if you develop a sense of beginnings and endings, and if you keep a big, beautiful calendar on your wall, your confusion will disappear and taking the first step will become easy.
Now, how many of us have done this? We've been doing this from the very first book by Stephen Scott. Planning our intentions, our goals, giving them deadlines, working on activities, turning them into actual fruition or your dreams coming into fruition by working on this. We've come up with vision boards, we've come up with timeline boards, we've come up with so many, every book talks about it. Basically putting it out in the open, what am I looking at? I get a ballpark idea of, okay, this is my travel list, this is my personal list, this is my this list, this is my this list. And every year, now this what he's done is, every facet that you want to complete will be in every block. So this year, if my holiday is in Rome, next year it's in Ireland, third year it's in Norway, or fourth year it's in, Netherlands, whatever, wherever, however. You're going to just divide them, represent them. And when you're saying, okay, I want to do this, it's all right. I'm working on the other thing. Unless and until we really work on a vision board, we write the timelines, we plant them, we see them in a place where we can see them, we give them energy, we feel excitement, and we get the next idea of what to do next. Nothing is going to take off. Then it's all in the mind, and our mind is full of thoughts. 86,400 thoughts a day. It will be lost, and you have brilliant ideas coming up. Unfortunately, you don't write them down. So either you have a little book of great ideas, or you have, like your morning pages, or right now in this book we talked about, the scanner notebook. Unless and until we write on paper, it can't be done. Structures are important. Without structures, without timelines, we cannot take it further. And very important to have an accountability partner. If it's all in your mind, you say, I can do it. No, you need someone to do it. So whoever you think in this group for whatever goals, it doesn't have to be a Sanghamitra only. If you think you want somebody outside, go ask him or her, would you like to be my buddy? Would you like to help me be my accountability partner? These are my goals, and help each other. That way, it'll be working for both of you. Let's continue, Ruchi.
You can do one thing now and another later, or you can line them all up and do a small part of each of them today. It's simply a matter of taking your ideas out of the stratosphere and placing them in your daily life right next to your other activities, like breakfast, picking up the mail, walking the dog. It might seem obvious, but when you're panicked, nothing is obvious, as this letter from a scanner will show you. Dear Barbara, here's an update on your advice on selecting 2 or 3 projects and focusing on those. This will sound corny, perhaps obtuse. I never before understood that choosing 2 or 3 things was an option. For some reason, there has always been an understanding that I needed to do it all and do it now. Your simple approach has been a freedom boon. It has been specially helpful in directing my free time. I know what needs attention now, and I'm able to put the energy and excitement into it like never before. Are some of those dead ends starting to open up? Is the panic starting to melt away? I hope so. Because when it goes, you're going to release a lot of wonderful energy into that creative mind of yours, and with structure, you will be able to use it to do one after another of the projects that fascinate you.
So very important, when we have stuck up energy, it's because nothing is out in the open, everything is out in the mind. So whenever you see it in front of you, you're like, yeah, it just looks tangible, it just looks nice, and you're like able to propel yourself towards working on it. And our minds are absolutely gorgeous. They think creatively, they create magic. So until and unless we, whatever our mind has construed, we put that on paper, we can't even see what we've done. We've spoken about this many, many times. Pictures speak louder than words. So if what is written down, what you can be seen, what can be heard, what can probably be even felt, visualized, when you're thinking of that dream of yours, is like really adding a lot of value to it. So please use that wonderful energy which is trapped inside your body. Go out there, structure yourself, bring it out. Ab nahi to kab. Just start doing it. Now let's read about the exciting way to live and sticky note solution.
An exciting way to live. In the chapters that follow this one, I will be showing you in detail how to create your own structure, set up your timetables, and get the accountability you need. I will even give you tips, tricks, and tools for scanners, like the calendar you're going to post on the wall, and one other tool I would like to suggest. The sticky note solution. If something in the pages of this chapter helped reduce your panic, write it on many sticky notes and put them everywhere, on your walls, mirrors, refrigerators, and doors, in your appointment book, or on the desktop of your computer, so that every time panic starts to rise again in your scanner heart, your eye will fall on them and you will calm down again. A calendar, a daybook, and some sticky notes may not seem like a very formidable set of tools, but they will give you a good start. Realizing that there is plenty of time to do everything you love is a very big thing for a scanner. Remembering that the way to get somewhere is to take one step at a time changes immobility to progress. Don't underestimate the power of these insights or anything that reminds you of them. Once your panic subsides and you begin working on each of your interests, one after another, you will let go of the dread that life will pass you by. You will understand that today, tomorrow, and the next year, you're going to use every bit of talent, curiosity, and intelligence that's inside you. And where will you go? Where you are involved in doing what you love. The path will always show itself.
So our paths are going to show up on its own once we are all in the picture. Once we allow ourselves the process of life to unfold, once we allowing ourselves to write down and not dreading what will come, automatically new doors are going to open up, new paths are going to show up. And we will, once we emerge in the world where we do stuff that we love, Everything's going to be absolutely beautiful. Tomorrow is yet another new day, and we'll talk about why we have phobias for commitment. Let's now go for sun salutations.
The Surya Namaskar with mantras. Om Mitraye Namaha. Om Ravaye Namaha. Om Suryaye Namaha. Om Bhanave Namaha. Om Khagaye Namaha. Om Pushne Namaha. Om Hiranyagarbhaye Namaha. Om Marichaye Namaha. Om Adityay Namaha. Om Savitre Namaha. Om Arkay Namaha. Om Bhaskaray Namaha. Salutations to the universal friend. Salutations to the resplendent sun. Salutations to the energy that induces activity within us. Salutations to the one who illumines. Salutations to the sun moving across the sky. Salutations to the giver of strength. Salutations to the golden cosmic self. Salutations to the Lord of the dawn. Salutations to the son of Aditi, the cosmic mother. Salutations to the benevolent mother. Salutations to the energy that we praise, and to the one who guides us to salvation. The sun salutation now with the names of the postures, both in Sanskrit and English. Pranamasan, Hastuttanasan, Padhahastasan, left leg back, Ashvasanchalanasan, Parvatasan, and hold this position, and now slowly progressing into the deeper version of Parvatasan, Adho Mukh Shvanasan. Ashtang Namaskar, Bhujangasan, Parvatasan, left forward Ashvasanchalanasan, Padahastasan, Hastuttanasan, Pranamasan. On the right side, prayer position, raised arms pose, hand to feet pose, right leg back, equestrian pose, mountain pose, hold mountain pose, and slowly moving into the deeper version of mountain, the downward facing dog. Salute with 8 limbs, cobra, press back to mountain, right forward equestrian pose, hand to feet pose, raised arms position, prayer pose. One round of the sun salutation with awareness on the breathing. So exhaling our hands to the chest, pranam. Inhaling as we bend back. We exhale as we fold forward. Left leg back, inhale as we're arching back. Exhale into the forward. Hold the breath for knees, chest, chin. Inhale as we arch back. Exhale into the forward. Left leg forward, inhale. This is a back bend. Exhale whenever we bend forward. Inhale as we bend back. Exhale, hands to the chest. And on the right, deep breathing. Exhale. A deep inhale. A long exhale. Right leg back with an inhale. And exhale. Hold the breath. Inhale. And exhale. Right leg forward with a deep inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale.
Welcome back after seeking blessings from the sun and saluting into the morning. After Surya Namaskar, it's time for us to be back. And let's read about creative visualization. Let's read about what can we do to make a difference in our life and how is it that all of us can be differently placed. We talked about the power of treasure maps. So every day you were learning something about how you're supposed to make your vision board, right? Now there's something which is very, very important for everyone to understand, which is our health and the beauty which is attached with our health. So there's so many ways a creative visualization can be used to maintain and improve our health, our physical fitness, and our beauty. Like everything else, our health and attractiveness are created by our mental and emotional attitudes. So changing our beliefs and the ways we tune into ourselves and the world can have profound physical effects. Very important for us to understand that health is wealth. When they talk about it, it's just not as said, it is everything. It's the biggest wealth all of us can acquire. Our body is the only place we live in. So it should be really, really, really one of our prime goals to make it function well. I have already mentioned the value of doing treasure maps in these areas. Here are a few of the techniques that I like to use. I'm sure you'll find many more of your own. First form is physical exercise. No matter what type of physical exercise you do, you can use creative visualization and affirmation to help you get the maximum amount of benefit and enjoyment from it. Do you know something? People who are not doing Surya Namaskar physically per se, but if they're following the video and thinking that they are doing it, usse bhi fayda hota. Do you know that? Creative visualization is so effective that even if you're not physically doing something, but you're thinking that you're doing it and you're affirming that, oh, this asana is doing this good to me, and wow, I'm living a much more healthier life, you will get better. There are so many people who are bedridden, but they're getting better, healthier because they're seeing something in front of them, a video of exercises. They can't move physically, not even like an inch of their body, but they're thinking that they're doing it. And that is so beneficial. We can all use visualization both while we are doing the physical form of exercises, as well as other times when you're just relaxing, sitting down, doing nothing else. Now, for example, if you like to run, picture yourself running very swiftly, smoothly, tirelessly, even if you have a fracture. Think that you're doing it. And while you're running, imagine that you're taking a huge leap with every step, covering vast territory effortlessly, almost flying. During relaxation periods, affirm to yourself that you are daily growing faster, stronger, and better physical shape. Picture yourself winning races if that is one of your goals. If you can do dance or yoga exercises while you're doing them, put your consciousness in your body in every muscle. Picture them relaxing, stretching. See yourself becoming more and more limber and flexible. Use creative visualization to improve your abilities to your favorite sport. Imagine yourself becoming more and more accomplished until you're truly excelling. So creative visualization will really help us in all our physical goals. अगर अभी हमें नहीं आता कुछ करना, but intention है करने की, so just start visualizing. Very soon you'll be doing it also, right? Now, beauty treatments. Do things for yourself regularly that make you feel good, like taking special care of yourself, doing nice things for your body. Using creative visualization can turn a daily routine into a beauty treatment ritual. For example, take a hot bath or shower and visualize the hot water totally relaxing, soothing, and healing you. Picture any problems you have melting or being washed away, and nothing which is going to be there, which is not required by your body, will be anymore there. So you're taking a detox every single time. Nothing is remaining but your natural radiance shining from within. Now, if you're putting lotions or oil in your face and body, giving yourself lots of loving attention, affirming that your skin is becoming smoother and more beautiful all the time. When you wash your hair, put your attention on what you're doing and affirm that your hair is thicker, shinier, healthier than ever before. When you brush your teeth, mentally affirm that they're strong, healthy, and beautiful, and so on. And for this, I've also guided you all that if you feel the need and desire, the Ho'oponopono shower is like a blessing. Every body part is being apologized to, is being loved, it's being, asked for forgiveness, and so on and so forth. And then you're blessing every body part. So even that's very beautiful, because every body part is important. When you have a cold and a cough, your nose starts, becoming like you're just, detoxing from here. Then you're like, oh, when will this stop? Because it's even a smallest little thing. If you have a burn in your finger, it'll keep itching you, pinching you. So every body part is important. Learn to value it, learn to trust it, learn to give it a lot of respect. Now, eating rituals. We've widely spoken about this in the magic book. Nonetheless, today again, we'll speak about it. Now, many people have negative concepts relating to food. We're afraid the food we eat is going to make us fat or make us sick, unhealthy. Yet we tend to compulsively continue eating the very foods we fear, thus creating inner stress and conflict, and eventually creating the feared effects, overweight and illness. So if all of us are fearing something and we're having it, kya hoga? It is going to work on it negatively, because you are complaining about something and you're going to have it with that feeling, with that guilt, and voila, it comes true as weight problems, stomach infection, pain in the head or something, acidity. Many people are very unconscious while they eat. They're so busy talking and thinking of other things that we fail to tune into the delicious, satisfying taste and nutrition of our food. So nowadays, dinner time has become chitter-chatter time. Oh, that's the only time the family meets, everyone's talking. Back then, in the old days, I don't know if you've grown up in that culture, dinner times or meal times are sacred times. Every morsel you chew, you're just sitting in quiet, and it's like a meditation going on. But now it's chitter-chatter going on. In fact, many people eat khana pina with the TV going on. Mind is full of clutter. What energy will you give to your food? Please, please, please get tuned in your food. Eating is really like a magical ritual, an amazing process in which various forms of energy from the universe are transformed with energy that forms our bodies. Whatever we are thinking and feeling at the time is part of the alchemy. So get that very, very, very clear. पानी को charge करके पीना, खाने को pray करके खाना, being grateful for the entire food chain, for whatever the food has come on your plate. If you're doing all of that, you are really in that magical ritual. If not, you missed on that magic for that moment. And not only that moment, that food which is gone in your mouth is going to be there for at least 6-7 hours. 6-7 hours of mayhem inside the body. Vis-a-vis 6 hours of gratitude in the body. So have you invested your time in your meal? That's $1 million question that you need to ask yourself. Here's a ritual to practice at least once a day if possible. What is the ritual? Understand. Kuch bhi kha rahe hain, kuch bhi pee rahe hain. It's very important that at least once a day we sit down and understand and meditate, food meditation. Sit down with the food in front of you. Close your eyes for a moment. In fact, all of you can do that right now. Think that you can close your eyes and think that you have a plate in front of you, so serve with fruit, maybe breakfast, like a breakfast bowl of fruits. All right. So close your eyes for a moment, relax, and take a deep breath in. Silently thank the universe for this food, and thank all the beings who helped provide this food, including plants and animals, and the people who grew it and prepared it for you. Now, with your eyes closed, think that you are looking at your food. Really observe what you can see. What does it look like? Are there fruits in there? Are there something else? How does it look like? Observe how it smells, natural smells, or if it's cooked, you have the cooked smells. Now, slowly begin to take a bite. Really be aware of it and enjoy the taste. Now, there's no rush. Take the bite, chew it 25-30 times, every bite. In fact, after 15-16 times, the food will kind of just fuse in the body. As you're eating, talk to your food silently in your mind and tell yourself that this food is being transformed into life energy for your use. Thank the food that you're eating for giving it so much of energy. Tell yourself that your body is using everything that it needs and easily eliminating which is not required. Picture yourself becoming healthier and more beautiful as a result of eating this beautiful, wonderful, delicious plate of food. Do this regardless of any previous concepts you may have of how good or bad this food is for you. Even if it's a junk meal, you can be grateful for it. You can always use this beautiful affirmation that whatever is required by my body, it keeps and the others eliminated. So if there's junk which is not required, it will be eliminated, yet it would have satisfied your taste buds. If possible, eat the food slowly, stop when you feel satisfied. And now take a moment or two after you've finished enjoying your pleasant meal, and you can open your eyes with the pleasant warm glow that emanates from your stomach when it's satisfied and happy. Touch your stomach, touch your esophagus, your food pipe, and thank the entire process of digestion, assimilation in the body. Love, gratitude for your food is a meditation for your food, which is very, very important. And the more often we remember to tune into our food this way, the more beauty and good health we will create for ourselves. And there will come a time when you will only have spiritual food, spiritual energy, and not something which is not required by your body. Visualization is the best gift all of us can give to ourselves if we are in tune. So can we turn the page? Here's another ritual that is even more simpler. Now, before going to bed every night, when you rise or something during the day, pour yourself a tall glass of cool water. Now, of course, winters have set in, so even normal water is cool. Sit down and relax and drink it slowly. As you drink, tell yourself that this water is the elixir of life and the fountain of youth. Imagine that it is washing away all impurities and bringing you energy, vitality, beauty, and health. Here are some good affirmations for health and beauty. And these affirmations can easily be written on your bottles. Like, I have this bottle, I use green color bottle, green is the color of the heart, and I have affirmation written on my bottles. Whenever I drink from the bottle because only I have it. So it's all right to use it. And I look at the affirmation, the blessing, and then I drink my water. So every time the water is going inside me, it's blessing me. Because it's elixir of life, it's a fountain of youth. And it's washing away all impurities of whatever is bringing in our body. Now, some beautiful affirmations we can use are, every day I'm growing healthier and more attractive. Everything I do adds to my health and beauty. Everything I eat adds to my health, beauty, and slender attractiveness. I'm good to my body and my body is good to me. I am now slender, strong, in perfect condition, no matter what I do. I'm growing stronger and more powerful every single day. I now desire to eat only these things that are best for me at any given time. You can also add to this that my body takes the spiritual food, spiritual energy, so that you stop eating all the junk and crap apne aap se, because only having spiritually strong food, I now desire to eat only those things that are best for me at any given time. So when you say this, if there is a plate of junk food versus a plate of good food like fruits, you'll probably choose the fruits because you're like, my body desires that, and subconsciously fit it in your mind. I get hungry only for the foods my body really needs. It means you'll start going to very back to basics. The more I love and appreciate myself, the more beautiful I'm becoming. I'm now irresistibly attractive to men or women, whoever, or to people. I love my body as it is. I'm naturally attractive as I am. When we add such affirmations, we are really creating a huge power roadmap for all of us. So let's understand that the power of affirmations, clearing them, using them into treasure map, into our goals, into our own body for our health and our beauty, along with creative visualization, is the only way to really reach the pinnacles of success. So what are we waiting for? Creative visualizations for all of us. Let's start implementing and believing in it. When you close your mind and you take 3 deep breaths, you're anyways automatically aligned, balanced, and centered. Make yourself use creative visualization. Thank you, Rahul sir. We can now switch the book to the art of creative thinking. It's very, very imperative for us to know that life is a cakewalk if we want it to be. Whatever we're thinking is coming out to us in many, many, many ways. There's 9 sutras of love I could probably share with you one day. They're so magical, and it's all about ourselves. It's all about what is our conditioning for our mind. And they will just take us away from where we are more. Maybe today in the meditation will do it, maybe some other day. Today, maybe we can do creative visualizations, last meditation. Very important for all of us to realize that we must value obscurity. If we feel overlooked, that no one is interested in what we are doing, enjoy the moment. You are seeing what you're doing, right? You are important. It's all right. Obscurity is a creative place. You're free to experiment and fail. No one is watching. No one has expectations. Entrepreneurs, designers, writers, artists make the most of the freedom obscurity offers. Kurt Cobain and his band Nirvana produced the classic multi-million selling album Nevermind, one of the most influential records of all time. Its far-reaching legacy is still as potent today as ever. Its strange combination of hard-edged rock, catchy melodies, dynamic shifts from quiet to loud, and Cobain's raw, angst-ridden voice sound as fresh today as they were recorded. Nirvana were virtually unknown when they recorded Nevermind. In obscurity, Cobain reveled in the thrill of finding his own voice, of creating a new language to speak to the world with. He experimented with guitar and vocal techniques for the sheer hell of it. Often homeless, he claimed. He sometimes resorted to living under a bridge. It was a fraught but exciting time. He was discovering what to say and how to say. There was no pressure. He had all the time in the world he needed to experiment and discover who he was and what he wanted to express. After fame came his way, an army of people suddenly relied on Cobain. The other band members, the record company, managers, roadies, retailers, accountants, journalists, PAs, and fans. Hundreds of magazines, TV stations clamored for interviews. They all wanted a stake in him. He quickly began to miss obscurity because before the straitjacket of fame, there was just Kurt, only one person to worry about. Now he bought an expensive, gigantic, multi-roomed mansion, slept in a cheap motel nearby. He was trying to recapture the early sense of freedom. He wanted to develop an experiment, and try new ideas. But no one wanted that. They wanted another Nevermind, another. And it's just always going for more and more and more. Cobain came to realize that his anonymity had been precious. Obscurity is a time to be savored. If you're lucky enough to be in obscurity, make the most of it. If you're a CEO, every decision you make is analyzed and scrutinized. If you lower down your ranks, you can try things out and fail. Success brings the weight of expectations and pressure and can do far more harm than good. I'm afraid of losing my obscurity. Genuineness only thrives in the dark, like celery, says Aldous Huxley. So very important to this. And let's read the next chapter as well. Obscurity is good. It's an outlook of our life, how we are seeing the perspective. And when we feel that there's no one looking at us, actually we are empowering ourselves far more. Now, if something doesn't need improving, improve it. So even if you're happy with how it is, why can't you improve it more? Martin and Alison Egbert set out on a request to find an alternative treatment for their son. He was born with congenital clubfoot, a rare but crippling deformity of the foot. The standard treatment in the late 1990s seemed barbaric today. Years of painful surgical operations that left the feet scarred and stiff. Surely there was a better way. The Egberts phoned, surfed the net, asked questions and probed. They discovered an overlooked treatment created in the 1940s by Dr. Ignazio Ponseti. Ponseti had studied the anatomy of the foot and developed a non-surgical technique that manipulated the baby's feet when they were young and flexible, then held them in place with a plaster cast for a short while. It was highly effective and left children with perfectly normal feet. Despite the clear advantages of the Ponseti method and the unequivocal clinical evidence of effectiveness, it met with opposition. A surgical technique was being transformed into a non-surgical technique. Surgeons were locked into "we have always done it this way" inertia. There's a lot of prestige and status attached to being a surgeon, and they wanted to keep it that way. Surgeons were proud of the skills, and here was someone telling them the surgery was not even required. It was not even the best remedy. They continued to cut ligaments, strengthen tendons, open joints, pin bones, and do irreparable damage. Tens of thousands of children underwent needlessly painful operations. Ponseti's confusion and Ponseti's situation is common to people who produce something groundbreaking. They're surrounded by people who at best are resistant to new ideas and at worst willfully ignore them. Now the Eggbirds visited the retired Ponseti to ask him to correct the baby's clubfoot. On their way home, they determined to start a website to explain the technique to other parents. Eventually, the Ponseti method gained acceptance and dramatically changed thousands of lives. It took someone outside the medical profession to see clearly and to find the better way. So we're just being taught to search for a better way, a better method when everyone else is content with the standard. Hierarchies maintain the cure after it's lost its status. There's always a better way. We're often trapped into prescribed methods because that's how things have always been done. We go along with what is normal when we should always be looking to extend and improve. You must always challenge and question tried and tested methods, fundamentals, so that there is always space for improvement, no matter how long you've been doing the same thing over and over and over again. George Eliot says, iteration, like friction, is likely to generate heat instead of progress. So thank you, Rahul sir. Thank you everyone for being here, tuned in this morning and learning something new for our lives, some new perspective, some new shift in our energy, because it's very important. What does this mean? Hierarchies maintain the status after its lost its cures. For example, the hierarchical system is like this person will inherit this person will inherit this. But many a times, the person who will inherit has lost the interest completely. So does hierarchy work well for that particular organization or that country or that thing? It's lost its cure. Yes, it's just been maintained. So sometimes to go out of the ordinary and to think beyond the box is very, very, very important. Whoever wishes to read can raise a hand. And thank you so much, Ruchi. Thanks, Anita, for raising your hand. Thank you, Ruchi, for being my voice this morning. Thank you so much, my dear. So, Anita, you want to read? Now, let me introduce the chapter to everyone. Observe yourself. Observe what is going on in your life and know that you're not your experiences. Very important for us to understand that experiences come in life for a reason, for a purpose. So it's not that they define who we are. So the affirmation is, I notice what is going on inside of me. So yes, Anita, let's read.
I notice what is going on inside of me. What do you need to do to get that space where you could be the happiest and most powerful person in your world? If you have done a lot of work on yourself and you understand the principles that what you think and say goes out from you and the universe responds and comes back, then observe yourself. Watch yourself without judgment and without criticism. This seems to be one of the biggest hurdles you have to make. Just look at yourself objectively. All the things about you. Just note what they are without making comments. Just observe. As you allow yourself the space to go inside and begin to notice what is going on, how you feel, how you react, what you believe, you come from a space where you are much more open. Thank you.
Thank you, Anita. So very important to observe what's going inwards. Most important realization for us is when we go inwards. And today when we go inwards, we can invoke anybody that we wish to. So today we will do the last meditation for creative visualization that's called invocation. So everyone, our back straight. Our feet firmly placed on the ground below. Hands in a comfortable resting position, the way you're comfortable. Take a deep breath in, out. Fill yourself in with lots of love and hope. Gently exhale, leaving anything unrequired by your body. Inhale light, that flooding your body, making it bright internally. And as you're sharing it, exhaling it, it's brightening the world externally. Life is magical. Life is meaningful. Life is a reward in itself. Today, we will invoke, we'll call upon energies that we need. To invoke means to call in or to call upon. When we meditate or invocation, we are summoning, inviting some form of beautiful energy or quality to come to us. Let's relax completely. Observe your body and relax. Relax. Feel the roots in your body coming out from your feet and going within Mother Earth. More deeper, more wider, more stronger. Feel the roots coming from your lower backbone and doubly grounding you into Mother Earth. Relax. Now you know that you're deeply grounded. All of us can go into our sanctuaries also, the place which is a go-to place where we can go and relax there. The idea is to relax. I now call forth the quality of love. And feel this love coming into your body from all directions. Into your heart from everywhere possible. You're a magnet who's attracting all the love in the world. It's filling you up with love and more love. You're radiating from within. Enjoy the feeling of love flowing within your body. Now, if you wish, you can direct this love towards any particular goal of yours through visualization and affirmation. So whatever goal you have, feel your love being directed towards that. And while you're telling the love, affirm whatever the dream is. All of us can use the power of invocation to summon any quality or energy that we really want or need in our life. Simple qualities like strength, wisdom, serenity, compassion, softness, warmth, clarity, intelligence, creativity, healing power. All we have to do is make simple, clear statements to ourselves that this quality is coming to us. If anyone knows any particular person having this quality, we can invoke the quality from that person also. In fact, it makes it much more powerful. So the best way, or maybe an alternate way to invoke the qualities, is to summon the spirit of an essence of a particular person who has qualities that you desire. And remember, it's absolutely safe. So say we could be invoking the energy of Buddha, of Christ, of Vaheguru, of Allah, of Bhagwan, anybody. Which kind of God name him or her, or any person who's deceased, and for that matter, any person who's alive. You're invoking the quality does not mean you're depleting the person's quality. The more we give, the more we get, the more we share, the more we grow. We can call forth any universal qualities that the person symbolizes, which also lies in each one of us, because all of us are an image of God. And now you can say, through me, I am summoning a very powerful way of invoking love, compassion, forgiveness, and healing ability. And as you say it, feel these beautiful virtues coming into your body in a very beautiful way, healing your body, healing others, because we have invoked the healing ability, healing single, healing in groups, forgiveness. All of us are meant to forgive for giving love. That's what we're meant for. So let us be all channels of forgiveness. Let's forgive unconditionally, no strings attached. Let's invite compassion, compassion for ourselves and mankind. Why only mankind? Why not animal kingdom, mineral kingdom, any spiritual beings? Compassion for all, love for all. Most importantly, love for ourselves. I love and accept myself the way I am because I am whole and complete. If there's any particular master or teacher or hero or shiro that you wish to resonate, call upon him or her through invocation whenever you feel the need to harness their energy to manifest the special qualities within yourself. Feel it and do it. If you wish, do it now. Feel the energy coming in your body. Feel yourself becoming more magical with whatever you invited. This type of meditation works beautifully when there's a special skill or talent that we wish to cultivate. For example, if you're studying music or art, we can call upon any great master in that field whom we especially admire. And we feel the positive creative energy of the person, the genius flowing through us. It is not necessary to incorporate any personal problems or weaknesses he or she may have. You're summoning only the person for his highest aspect. Let life be magical, let life be wonderful, and let life be achieving results into our world through the power of invocation, through the power of affirmations, through the power of blessings, and through the power of healing. Let there be love, let there be light. Now, the roots that are in Mother Earth, allow them to come back in you. Allow them to come back in you from even the hip area, from where your lower bone finished, the backbone. Take all the roots back in. Very important for us to realize that we are here as channels of love and light, of channels of blessings, of channels of abundance. Let's open our hands, our heart center, expand the heart area. I create my life the way I desire. Whoever I wish to learn from, I invoke the energy and the highest aspects in me. I am love. I am light. I am a blessing. May I be the channel of blessings. May I be the channel of love. May I be the channel of light. And may I always help someone who needs me. Let's fold the hands in gratitude. Let's expand our hands towards the universe. Dear universe, thank you for having our backs. Thank you for making life so meaningful. Thank you for giving us all the blessings. Divine love guides us, protects us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's fold our hands once again, rub them together. Bless your head for restructuring, reprogramming, rewiring, unlearning, and learning. Your face, the five senses for seeing better, hearing better, sensing better, speaking better, having a feel of everything good. Your neck, shoulders, arms, upper body, from your heart to your lungs to your gut area, sexual organs, thighs, knees, calves, top of your feet, soles of your feet, your back calves, your back knee, back thigh, your hips, your lower back, middle back, higher back. And now let's bless each other with the energy that flows in our body, thanking our body, thanking our beautiful sacred morning. Let's be the channels of love and light. Love, light, and healing blessings in abundance to Ruchi, Hitendra ji, Akshay, Pratima ji, Shivani, Amit, Nikita, Vijay ji, Anita, Manisha, Usha ji, Surendra ji, Richa, Rahul sir, Amrita ma'am, Arvind ji, Neha, Bharat, Ankur, Supriya, Niriksha, and all the virtual participants and all sentient beings. May there be love, may there be light. Is there anything anybody wants to share, ask any question, any doubts? Please just know one thing, that if all of us need to work on our dreams and make them come true, many of us, our dreams have already come true, but many of our dreams keep coming up, right? So very important for us to make our creative goals, our vision board, our treasure maps, what we learned about yesterday and today, are very, very, very important. Whatever aspects you want, finance, body, mind, intellect, anything that you want, keep it as part of your vision. Write it big and bold. The bigger you dream, the better it is. And enjoy each time something comes true. Acknowledge it. Be grateful. So many a times our dreams come true, but we're not grateful. We're like, oh, pata nahi kaise ho gaya. Pata hai na? It's all magic. Law of attraction. You're in those vibes. Your energy levels is very high. Your frequency, you're radiating in a very high frequency. So obviously you attract only the best. So be selective, but be meditative. Meditate on it. Very, very important. Yes, invocation is great, Shivani. Thank you. So thank you, everyone. And let's always be Jigyasu. Let's always be seekers. Let's always keep learning, motivating ourselves, and let's always be there. Thank you, Pratima ji, for your blessings and for your love. We'll see each other tomorrow morning at 5. Until then, love and light. Be blessed. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.